agree. Well, the thing is, where we came from, we had to do. I may have been the reason why there was a handshake on like torture RP. Um. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway, but yeah, like on the server I came from, like a lot of it was like we did a lot of like kind of like serious RP, but it was all like in order to. I don't want to talk about it. It's a crazy time in my life, man. I had a character who collected fingers, and then I had a character who collected kidneys. Anyway.
Oh. Jeez.
Listen, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, man.
Wait.
It was a whole thing. So so basically the people
that means
the server was like,
that's complicated.
You know who his girlfriend is?
Who?
It's someone named after another. It's another girl named after a place.
Wait,
What is it? Who?
Brooklyn.
Brookline?
Yes.
Wait, that's a
Brookline,
place?
Brooklyn.
wait. He did not just say that was a place. Oh my god. To be fair, it is.
Oh, Brook. You. Oh my god.
Oh, me, mate.
Oh my god.
Oh, bro, that makes so much more sense.
Well,
Okay.
Well, to be fair, Brooklyn is in America. Not a lot of people know that.
Get this
So
broke bitch off her phone. She don't understand my lingo.
wait, are we getting Jay and Saint other city lore? I mean, I don't really think there's not really a lot of lore in it. I mean, there kind of is, because obviously there's, but when when I first met Jay as Daisy, he was in our cartel, and then the cartel got disbanded by the server because there was too many people. And then no, Daisy wasn't a Valgos member. Daisy wasn't a Valgos member. Oh, no. I didn't even have a. Okay, so like the Valgos members I had were B, which was the longest one, which is the psycho one, and then I made Saint, but that came way after. That came way after. So I had a character named Daisy, who it was actually supposed to be a meme character because her name was Daisy Hicks, and at the time I had like just stopped playing Daisy for really for RP. So like it was supposed to be like a meme, and I didn't have any intention on staying with RP, like GTA RP, because like I don't know, at the time I just wasn't like into it, you know what I mean? Because I was still doing PvP all the time, so like the thought of RP was like meh. So see, so I met this guy named Dwayne, but it wasn't Wicket's Dwayne. It was another guy, Tea with Milk and Sugar. And then he had, because I remember I told him it was my first day in the city, so he escorted me around the city in his limo.
Thanks to @6or for my sub gift.
6 month gift subscription courtesy of woo! It has entered the 4th month. Woo! Hell yeah, guys, get some hearts and hypes. And then that's when we were like going around on different, like it was a fight club, so we were like people were fist fighting and then going to a new location, and that's where I met Jay's character, Jay, and then you went to the whole cringe process of like, getting to know each other, blah blah blah, the whole cringe RP, you know what I mean? It was so cringe. Oh god, it was so cringe. And so and then after that, because he was in the cartel, I wasn't, but then the cartel got disbanded, and then they made the cartel again, and it was like this on and off thing. And then well, a little bit after I met him, I met Greedy and I met Swizz. And then, yeah, I forgot at what point I got, I think there was a scenario where they're like basically testing like my character's loyalty, and they wanted me to shoot this guy in the head, or shoot this guy, execute this guy, and I did. And they're like, all right, say less. And so, oh, we should just switch to the cafe on this one. So then I did, and they're like, okay, cool, she can be trusted. That say less, like she's willing to like shoot people for us or whatever. So then I got I think after that, that's when I got accepted into the cartel. A lot of things happened between then and there. Cartel got disbanded. And then we went off and made our own group, which was I think it was it the Letterman after that? It wasn't the Letterman after that. Or was it? I don't remember. I think it might have been the Letterman after that. I'm not sure. Either Swizz or Reedy can correct me on this. I'm not sure which one it was after that. It might have been something else and then the Letterman. But then if I remember correctly, the Letterman ended up becoming the group that was basically the gang that was basically in charge of all other gangs. So basically how we RP'd it out was that gang, the gang that we had, the Letterman, was basically the one who was in charge of all gangs. So if there were gangs that wanted to do something, they would have to come to us first in order to get like kind of like our blessing beforehand. And then like, or if they wanted to, if they have any sort of conflict, then our gang would be the mediator of it. And then I don't remember a lot of it. I think like we did a lot of like dealings with like guns and shit. And then I remember like, oh my god, it's just Jay mentioned this the other day. I remember the day we were like, you know what, we're done like basically hand holding like these gangs or whatever, just have them go at it, right? And I remember we had a whole entire meeting with like literally every gang in the city met up at the chicken factory, and it was so cool, right? Because the scenario that we had all the gangs meet up at the chicken factory, and somehow the police knew about it. Like, I think it was like somehow the police knew about it. So the police were literally like, it was kind of like a sting operation. So like the police were like literally parked up everywhere. Like it was one of the, they weren't obviously, we didn't know obviously they were there. It was like we knew, but like we couldn't see them, right? It was kind of like they were just there doing surveillance, trying to figure out who was part of what gang, you know? So we went there, had a whole entire meeting, and basically we're like, we're done basically hand holding you guys. It's all up to you. Have fun. And whoever wants to take our position, like, it's up to you. Have a good one. And I remember we walked away from that meeting, and I remember all the gangs, all you could hear was nothing but shooting. It was like, and I vividly remember that because I was like, this is so, like, this was actually so cool. The fact that like the fact that we were walking away out of that chicken factory and all you could hear was nothing but gunfire, and you could see the police that were like surrounding the place. It was so fun. Oh my god. We had so many good moments. We really did. So many good moments. Yeah, Miku won't come on the whitelist. I've already tried to get her on the whitelist. And see, that's what's crazy about it, is a lot of people like don't really know this, but like Jay and I have a lot of like experience as far as like leading like gangs and creating like stories and stuff like that. It's just, wait, what are you talking about in Hydra? I'm talking about on the old server. What? No, this is way before NoPixel. But then after that, what did we do? I forgot. I think it was like really kind of like laid back. We're like, fuck, we can do whatever we want now. Like, we're not in charge of all these people. I fast forward to like a few, like fast forward. And then I had a moment where I had my character Daisy go through a whole like, she went psycho. I think she got on trial for five attempted murders and 2 confirmed murders. Like 5 attempted and 2 actual murders. But then we finessed a lawyer and got them all like basically basically the lawyer, we finessed the lawyer and basically got them all like expunged and like zipped up and like put away. And then I remember listen, I'm not going to talk about it. Anyway, I remember we committed murder to this and then we made anyway, yeah, and then she had this whole trial thing cuz she actually got convicted of murder or attempted murder. Was it murder or attempted murder? I'm not sure. And then it was kind of cool because then I stabbed my lawyer, stabbed the police officer, and then and then I got to shelf my character because I was done. Was it Yeah, it was Carmine's lawyer, and I got to shelf that character because I'd been playing that character for so long. I was over it. I was done. I was over it. I was like, I'm gonna shelf this character. I'm gonna make a new character because I had been playing her for like months and months and months, and I went through the whole like gang thing. I went through like her going to her psycho bit, like all that kind of stuff, and it just kind of felt like there's nothing more I could do. So I got to shelf my character for a ton of I shelved her from I think I brought her back a few times, but yeah, I never played that character again. And then obviously I had like a stint of a biker RP and blah blah blah, but then eventually settled into I found my little family in the Vagos, where I had my other character B, who was also a psycho. She was a psychopath. And collected kidneys. But I had this whole entire thing of like, let me try to find it. Hold on, let me try to find it. Because it's actually really cool. But I was so into like making things as like for RP for people to find. Like I would make, oh, let me see if I can find it. But I would make like stuff that like things that people could find in like the house or whatever. Like say for example, whenever people found out about the kidney situation, I had photoshopped like a little piece of paper that like my character would record like whose kidney, you know what I mean? Because the RP of it was basically she was doing this and sending them back to Sinaloa and getting paid for them. It was kind of like she was a Sicarian, that was kind of like her mission to do. Like that was kind of like an order that she had to like carry out, right? And then let me try to find it because I made a lot of like Photoshop things for it. And then so I made a bunch of stuff that like I think whenever my character finally got raided, they found like the piece of paper in like my back pocket, and it was actually really cool because I did a lot of like Photoshop stuff, like physical evidence that people could use, like police could use and put it on the record. But I don't know where any of that stuff is. I actually had a bunch of it. But yeah, it's crazy. We had some crazy moments, man. It makes Ivan and Brooklyn sound normal. That's like the one thing I miss about it, right? Is that is the I wish I had the confidence to do it more. Like I wish I had the confidence to do a lot more of like that kind of RP. And like I'm slowly coming out of my shell. It's just gonna take a bit because you have to understand that whenever I was doing that RP, I had been on that server for like months and months and months, right? And people knew like me, and so I was comfortable with everybody there, and I was comfortable with like the people surrounding. And so oh yeah. I was there for a long time. So I was very comfortable where I was. So like for me to do all that stuff, I was like, okay, no big deal. So like I said, I mean, it's slowly my confidence is slowly getting there. It's not where I want it to be, but you know, it's getting there. Oh my god, this was oh my god. This was the trial. Hold on. Let me show this. This was the trial. In my personal opinion, hold on, let me put this one up here. There's a window capture. Oh. This was the trial. Oh my god. This was the hold on. Let me put me back over here. So so this was my character Daisy. And this was the trial that she was at, that like I stabbed the lawyer and then the cop. But this was me. This was my character Daisy. This right here, this was Reedy's character Damien. This was Swizz's character. They're so fun. Yeah, the squad. Yeah, they did. They actually did. They rolled in for the trial. And then this was a logo I made for the Vagos taco stand. I made a bunch of stuff for like Vagos tacos. But this is like whenever I was a Vagos. And Vagos tacos, which is our legal, legitimate business that we had. It was fun. It was so fun. Fun times, man. Fun times. On tacos. Yeah, I had a dispensary too. It was called a Rosebud dispensary. We don't talk about that though. That's I'd rather not talk about that. But yeah. I don't know. I really hope that I get back to that kind of RP, because like I do. The thing is, I came from an RP server that like was a very like in-depth story RP server, and so I don't know. Like I said, I'm getting my confidence more on NoPixel, so I hope that one day I'm able to do storylines like this. You know what I mean? It's just really hard to find people who would want to be involved in those kind of RP like situations, because I mean, to be completely honest, let's be honest here. Some people's like views on RP whenever like you actually do RP on NoPixel, some people think it's cringe. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just I hope at some point people don't think it's cringe. You know what I mean? Yeah, RP on an RP server? What? So yeah, like I said, I hope eventually one day I'll be able to have the confidence enough to do storylines like this, because I miss doing storylines like this. I'm the kind of person that will literally sit there and write a backstory, and I could easily write a whole entire like story up. I could write a whole entire backstory. Because that's what I used to do. I used to write a lot, you know. So who's Lola Bunny? Oh god, fuck that arc. So I decided to make a cop. And I thought it would be funny to have like a cop that was based on I had a whole entire backstory because I thought to myself it would be kind of funny if I had a cop that was Lola Bunny but in a human form, and then like I had a whole entire backstory where the makers of of Warner Brothers brainwashed children to was basically a cartel. And like you know, they brainwashed like the Warner Brothers characters as children to basically have rank in their cartel, um which actually sparked the whole entire like I had a bunch of people that wanted to get on that story. So I had a bunch of people in on the storyline that were playing like bugs, that were playing all these kind of people, um where they basically she was on the run from them. And then there was what was the other one? Not Warner Brothers. It was yeah, it was Warner Brothers. Where they basically like tried to murder her basically. No, 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 that was a different. See, I've had so many characters. The Marshall one was like a I don't know, like a month-long character because never mind. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. Bandito. Bandito, I was talking about the good times from back in the day on in the place, you know what I mean? At that one place. And then oh man, I've had so many like Bubba over listen, Bubba was a gem. Even his fucking what was that? What was that car that you would drive all the time? Like a what's that? What was that car? Like yeah, the Bifta, the Bifta, the Bifta. the
Sixor
little
gifted a tier
Bifta.
1 sub to Bandito Brown 1. They have
Thank
given
you, Sick, for that gifted
726
sub.
gift subs in the channel.
Yeah, because the reason why there's a bunch of Lola Bunny TRP VODs is because it was such a huge storyline. And so I had somebody who I gave permission to post the VOD, like to archive the VODs, because that I don't know, this is what they like to do. But I don't think a lot of the VODs are on there. They don't have a lot of like the really big ones on there. Man, fun times though, fun times. That was probably one of my biggest stories, to be fair. Which I didn't think it was going to be that big. No, it's I didn't expect it to get that big, to be honest.